Alright YouTube, so little birdie told me about leaked Pokemon for the new Pokemon game, or leaked new Mega Pokemon for the upcoming game, which I'm super excited about. So I'll start off with the three starters, which are Feraligatr, Meganium, and Emboar. Sorry, I've lost track of their names because admittedly they were kind of forgettable starters, but I'm excited to see them in this game because I feel like it's kind of a good chance to let the underrated Pokemon shine more, and maybe I'll find, like, new love for these Pokemon and a new surprise. But I'm definitely thinking Megas is a step in the right direction for these Pokemon. And I think Meganiums, it could be maybe like a grass dragon similar to Mega Sceptile, although hopefully they give Meganium a better ability that makes it a lot stronger, because I was really upset when they gave Mega Sceptile a pretty whack ability that didn't really do too much, or didn't really make Sceptile as much of a physical attacker as he could have been, because Sceptile is one of my favorite Pokemon, but unfortunately he didn't get the recognition I feel like he deserved with his Megas, or at least not the treatment I felt he deserved. But I'm a little biased in that regard, and I think Feraligatr could work well as a water dragon, but I've never really liked Feraligatr that much, but I'd be willing to give this Pokemon maybe a chance. And I don't know, it was one Pokemon that I disliked for a while, but then sort of forgot about, and as I'm looking at it, it's sort of slowly growing on me, so I think a Mega Feraligatr could be a step in the right direction. And Emboar, similar to Feraligatr, was one I kind of didn't like, then shrugged, but is sort of growing on me as the games approach. I'm still choosing Chikorita because that's my favorite of the three by far, and I do like Meganium even though everyone thinks it's weak and kind of sucks, but it's to each their own. But Emboar I think could be super cool. I don't know what other type he could be other than fire fighting, but I do think if they do give him a Mega, that definitely making him faster would be definitely beneficial to him. Another starter Pokemon I heard maybe getting a Mega is a starter Pokemon I actually really like, actually one of my favorite Pokemon ever, Greninja. Hopefully I think Mega Greninja will be a lot better than the Ash Greninja, which was pretty meh looking and kind of boring. But they do make Greninja, although I do think Black and Red would suit Greninja with his ninja-like shadowy dark abilities, that since his shinies already kind of does that, I feel like they should take a different step. Like, I saw these fan arts, so I'll display them in a second. I saw these fan arts of one where he's like water ice, which is a terrible typing, by the way, not the greatest typing ever, but definitely a cool concept, because like the ice shuriken, which kind of gives me Ninjago vibes, throwback and shout out to Ninjago, but definitely works well with like the ice shuriken, sort of a subtle reference. But also I think ice could work well, sort of like an icy frog. It's definitely a cool creative concept, and if Greninja keeps his ability, I feel like it won't even matter if his type is whack, because, or at least his type is kind of not the greatest type ever, maybe not whack, but definitely gives him a lot more weakness if he's water ice. But I feel like if he has the same amazing ability that he has in the games, that it won't even matter. But I actually saw the idea of water psychic, which Greninja is a water dark, and I kind of view psychic and dark as sort of yin and yang, which maybe partly a subconscious bias because Umbreon and Espeon, but I think dark and psychic, or I mean water psychics, or the yin to the yang of original Greninja, could be an interesting concept. And I know Greninja has some cool psychic moves such as extrasensory and a few others that I cannot remember off the top of my head. Point being, I feel like Greninja's a fan favorite and definitely well deserved. I think he does a great job at getting his recognition as a super cool Pokemon. So another Pokemon I heard rumored to get a Mega Evolution is actually one of my favorite Pokemon that I didn't include in my vlog, because when I made a favorite Pokemon vlog, because he's just below that list. But it's Scolipede. I remember as a teenager, my love for Scolipede sort of spiked up because I sort of started paying more attention to him and using him in the games, and I thought he was super cool. I think the Poison Bug is really cool typing. It's probably my second favorite bug Pokemon. Scizor is my favorite bug Pokemon, and no, I'm not a fan of Mega Scizor, in case you're wondering. But in my opinion, Mega Scolipede has a lot more potential. Another rumored Mega is Mega Scrafty, which I think would be so cool. I love Scrafty. I love how he's sort of like the edgy punk Pokemon involved in like a lizard, because he has a lizard mohawk, but it's not like over the top and obnoxious human qualities applied to a Pokemon. It's subtle, because lizards have crests like that, and he's got the saggy skin, which is sort of his little hoodie, which is super cool. But Scrafty is also super badass, and I loved using him in Black and White as well as the X and Y games. Not really sure what they could do with his Mega Evolution, but whatever they do, hopefully it's good. That's all I have to say. Another Pokemon rumored to get a Mega Evolution is Frostlass, who is much better than Glalie in my opinion. Don't get me wrong, I like Glalie, but to me the concept of Frostlass's typing, design, and lore, and everything behind Frostlass, that I found super cool that I cannot remember the specific details of, which is a little embarrassing admittedly, but point being, I think Frostass has a lot more potential than the giant rock in ice, head covered rock in ice, whatever I was trying to say about Glalie. But I like Glalie still, but his Mega is terrible in my opinion, a horrible design, if I'm being honest. Yeah, as you can see by this video, you can tell a lot of the Mega designs are kind of hit or miss in my opinion, but I will say I haven't used a lot of the Megas in the game, so I can't really speak too much on them in terms of that aspect of the games, but personally the lore and the designs for a lot of them is either hit or miss in my honest opinion. I'm going to conclude this list with a Pokemon that I sort of have a weird feeling and relationship with. It's Dragonite, who initially I really didn't like because I thought he was so corny, so boring, and so whack, especially compared to his two previous evolutions, but I've been sort of growing. He's been sort of growing on me because he's kind of cute and funny, and I like Pokemon that are like, you know, cute, funny, but also very strong like Dragonite. But that being said, I do hope if they do give a Mega Dragonite, they tie it in with its two previous evolutions and sort of find the melting pot middle ground of there. But Dragonite's definitely a strong Pokemon, and I don't doubt his Mega will continue to make him more viable in the strong battling aspect. So this has been today's vlog of the rumored Pokemon to be getting Mega Evolutions. I love Pokemon. I love giving you guys YouTube videos on this, so stay tuned for more soon. Goodbye.